Yes, we can. Not according to John McCain's campaign. It's taken to calling Barack Obama Dr. No after the James Bond novel and film. It's an effort to try to highlight Obama's opposition to McCain's energy proposals, including a gas tax holiday and new offshore oil drilling. Let's bring in our special correspondent Frank Sesno watching the story. You got a little reality check on this on a day when the price per barrel is going up again.
Yeah, I know. It's getting nasty out there. They're getting frustrated. They're demonstrating it. Supply, demand. What side does Barack Obama come down on? Wind, solar, biofuels. Photo ops Barack Obama uses to say he's looking to the future while John McCain looks to the energy past.
Pretty impressive, right?
In fact, McCain favors new technologies and conservation too, but emphasizes the supply side of the oil and gas equation. For now, he says, we need more. Obama leans on the demand side. He proposes to reduce oil and gas use through conservation, higher mileage standards, requirements for utilities to use renewables like wind and solar. Obama's plan offers logic, but also inconsistencies. He opposes additional offshore drilling, largely because it would take years to get the oil flowing. True enough, but just about every significant energy proposal would take years to bear fruit. His own plan gives automakers 20 years to double mileage standards. Obama's criticized McCain for saying more drilling would have a positive psychological impact.
In Washington speak, what that means is it polls well.
But there is psychology in energy markets. Worries about soaring demand in China or supply disruptions in Nigeria send prices up. Expectation of more production can send prices down. Obama's stand on corn ethanol also raises questions. Its limited energy value and its impact on food prices, Obama's long supported it, including billions in government subsidies to promote it and steep tariffs keeping cheaper Brazilian sugar ethanol out to protect it. Obama's home state of Illinois is a big ethanol producer. The New York Times reported this week close ties in Obama's campaign to the ethanol industry, from his top environmental advisor to one of his most vocal surrogates, former Senator Tom Daschle, who serves on the boards of several ethanol companies. Obama often criticizes big oil, and a big part of his energy plan revolves around higher taxes on oil companies, to help fund R&D for new energy technologies, to pay for tax credits for some consumers, even to spur exploration.
But oil companies have faced a windfall profit tax before, back in the 70s. The tax was repealed in the 80s. Why? Because a lot of people felt it wasn't raising enough revenue, Wolf, that it was an administrative headache, and at the end of the day, oil exploration was going down when it needed to be going
What does he get credit?
Now the latest scheme is, well, we're going to drill offshore. Now, I want to be absolutely clear to everybody about this. If I thought that I could provide you some immediate relief on gas prices by drilling off the shores of California and New Jersey, I understand how desperate folks are. I mean, I met a guy who couldn't go on a job search, had lost his job, couldn't go on a job search because of the high price of gas. Just couldn't fill up his tank. I met a teacher in South Dakota who loved her job as a teacher on an Indian reservation. She had to quit because the drive was too far. It was taking up too much of her paycheck. I know how bad people are hurting. So if I thought that by drilling offshore we could solve our problem, I'd do it.
Reversing a long-standing ban on most offshore drilling, President Barack Obama has decided to let Uncle Sam sell oil and gas rights off Virginia and consider it for areas from Florida to Alaska. Announcing the plan, he said America simply must end its oil import addiction and produce more domestic energy.
In order to sustain economic growth and produce jobs and keep our businesses competitive, we are going to need to harness traditional sources of fuel even as we ramp up production of new sources of renewable, homegrown energy.
Yet Obama's also rejecting calls to sweep aside environmental concerns and drill, baby, drill.
I would say that this comprehensive approach is a lot less drill, baby, drill, and more drill where it's responsible.
In fact, he's canceling plans to drill in Alaska's environmentally sensitive Bristol Bay. But he is opening up a large chunk of the East Coast, a new part of the Gulf of Mexico, and even parts of the Alaskan Arctic. And that has environmentalists up in arms.
I think it's a real letdown, and I think it's a betrayal of people that voted against drill, baby, drill and for President Obama's vision of a clean energy future.
But while Obama's plan has angered some coastal states, in Virginia, where the first leases will be sold, there's support.
I guess as long as the water and the wildlife are not affected, then I'm fine with it.
You have a whole new ecosystem that started there on the side of the rig, and it attracts the fish and it attracts the fishermen, so it's kind of good for the ecosystem, in my opinion.
Meantime, GOP foes complain Obama's plan closes more areas to drilling than it opens. The president portrays this as a middle-of-the-road approach for a nation whose energy appetite will only grow as it emerges from recession. He's also angling for a few Republican votes for his fight against global warming. But in reaching for the center, Obama risks the ire of green voters and coastal states whose votes helped set him here in the first place. Mark Smith, The Associated Press, the White House.